Go ahead.
Hi there, it's Mark from Tuff Tread, and I wanted to do a quick service video for something that some people had some questions on, and it's on our high-speed treadmills from about 10 years ago, and it's how to tension the drive belt here. If the belt gets moving around and how it moves on it, it's the proper way to tension that using this type of spring-loaded idler. Your high-speed treadmill from us will it has two very distinctly different looking things. It'll either have a silver lever arm, spring-loaded lever arm like this, or it'll have a more of a steel fixed unit that isn't spring-loaded. And that's what you'll get. When we went into more of the push program treadmills being offered as an option, we went to the fixed arm. The ones that really didn't have the push programs, they had the spring-loaded arm. This is how to tension it. So I want to show how to properly tension the drive belt on our spring-loaded idlers. This was our version 1 spring-loaded idler. It's a little tricky. It will take 2 people because you have to have 3 hands. And so what you're going to end up doing on this thing, and we'll show it in just a second, is you tighten this down real tight to lock it into place. At the same time, you're pulling this, you're putting tension on this bolt right here. So that's what we wanted you to see. There's 2 bolt heads here. This bigger flat one, that's what this wrench is going to go on to. And if you've got a fixed size, great. But you can use an adjustable because it's a little bit of an oddball big size. And then it's a 9/6, should be a 9/16 on everybody's, both for the wrench and the socket. And that's just what you have to do is while you're pushing down, applying tension to this. Now you also should notice there are some tension markers here. They're just good to see, and you'll see what happened is right now this is properly tensioned, and this is where you should end up. With this line here, you'll see how it moves here in just a second. When I go ahead and loosen it up, there we go. Okay, and you saw how that moved. And so now you don't want this so loose that it's all over the place. So what you'll first want to do is loosen it up if you're needing to retension it. And then you'll go ahead and come in here and just get rid of all the play. You want it to just, and if you notice, see how these 2 move kind of separate from each other? That's what you want, is to be able to move both of those, but have a little bit of drag on it. So a little bit of tension here, done all with this bolt right here, tightening it down. But now what we have to do is, now that I'm at that spot, I'm going to get into that bolt head and I'm going to put the wrench on. And now I'm going to start to, and you'll notice what that wrench head is doing. It's moving this one. It's actually putting the spring load into this, and it's loading it up. And we actually go all the way through the spring load. Because of the push program, we're really not wanting it to have give both ways. We only want it to add tension down. And so you'll see how that'll move as I rotate this forward. If I could just keep going and force it and break it and damage it by just torquing the heck out of the thing. But there will be an obvious point when you get past these first 3 lines here, it'll start to get a little bit of tension on it, and then you'll feel a spot where it's kind of stopped. So you want to put tension against that. Okay, and so now I've got a second person here helping me. And so he's going to go ahead. So while I have this tension, and this is still in that spot, and you want to hold both sides, Jeff. You want to tighten it up on.
Go ahead.
You got to really lock this down. So. And that should be good. So we've got it really locked down tight, because that's what's holding it is this base being pulled up flat against that. And now in our newer systems, we do have a separate locking bolt that drives that forward and holds it when you tension this. But on this one, it had this big flange here, and that's what we're pinching up against this plate. So you do want to get that real tight. And but this, you want tension till it stops, and that's about it. And then you'll notice that it's really pushing down on that, and there's not a lot of upward play. If we had this back further, you'd be able to pull this thing either way. This is what we're trying to do, is drive the belt down and then have the spring keep tension on this even as it ages and all that. And it's really just a spring-loaded idler right out of a car. So this is a real high-end piece that was meant to go into a car and last 10 years, you know, hundreds of thousands of miles, and we're using it inside and just on a treadmill. So these hold up really well and do well, but they do have to be tensioned. The way we tension them is a little different than what people are used to, and that's the proper way to do it.